Hi there, my name is Bowie. I use they, them pronouns. Welcome to a training session with me. If you are new to training, it's great to have you join us. I really hope you enjoy what we're gonna get into today. If you have been doing some of these training sessions in the past, welcome back. It's always great to have you continue to do some of the fun stuff that we're sharing. And before we begin, I want to acknowledge that these videos are recorded on the stolen lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. Sovereignty never was and never will be ceded. And I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I want to give a big shout out to Drummond Street Services and Queer Space as well for helping us make this happen. It's with their support that we've been able to do what we're doing to help you get a little bit more active while you've been at home. Alrighty friends, let us begin. We're going to start with a warm-up because it's always good to get our body moving before we start getting active. And we're going to start moving our joints from the neck all the way down to our ankles without breaking things in our pockets. Safety first. We're going to start with our necks. So we're going to take our ear and we're going to tilt it down to our shoulder. Now you want to keep our shoulders down. So if you need to rest your hands just on the sides of your legs as you do this, that is totally okay. And we're going to alternate left and right for 10 in each direction. I think that's 4. It is now 5. So it's nice and slow. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Majestic. Once we've done 10 in each direction, we're going to take our chin, we're going to reach it up towards the roof, and we're going to tuck it down to our collarbone. And we're going to go up and down for 10 in each direction. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once we've finished looking up and down, we're going to take our chin and we're going to bring it to our collarbone, to the left and to the right. Nice and slowly here, we're not forcing it. Keeping your shoulders relaxed, hands down by your sides. It's 4. And so making our way to 10 each side. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's the way. Now we've got our neck a little bit more warmed up, we're going to go to our shoulders. Now, you have 2 options here. If you have tricksy shoulders that don't like to move in big circles, we're going to go for some little shoulder shrugs, shrugging backwards and then shrugging forwards. Using your elbow here to lead that, so bringing up to whatever height feels comfortable for your shoulder. If you have shoulders that don't mind bigger circles, we're going to take a straight arm and pass it back past our ear in a nice big smooth circle, backwards and forwards. Now we're maintaining control. Either way we do this, we're keeping control of that circle or that shrug. We're not letting gravity pull our arm down at any point. So we're going to go 10 backwards, 10 forwards, and then swap sides, do exactly the same thing on the other side. So let's go 10 circles or 10 shrugs. Feeling good about having a little rotation through your hip here as you do this. Letting your torso twist is totally okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 10, and we're going to go forwards, exactly the same thing. Keeping control. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. Let's bring it over. We're going to take the left side. We're either going to go shrugs backwards or circles backwards. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're bringing them forwards. 1, 2, 3, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nicely done. Now we're going to bend our elbows and just tuck them to our sides here. We're going to look at our hands and we're going to circle our palms towards us. I'm going to go for 10 here. Nice slow circles. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to back the way. We're going to push the backs of our hands away from us. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, if you get some clicks and pops there, as long as it's not painful, wrists can just be noisy sometimes. Coming down now, we're going to go to our hips. We're going to take our hands and we're going to put them on our hips and give them a very important job of staying there so they don't dangle around a little bit weirdly. We're going to bring our feet to somewhere around hip width or where you feel comfortable really. Don't go too narrow, you've got a chance of kind of tipping over. It's not always fun. But we're going to find our foot position that works for us. We're going to push our hips forwards, circle around to the left, push our butts right out the back. Might feel a bit weird, it's okay if we're all doing it together. Back around to the front, and we've done 1 hip circle. So we're going to do 10 of these, nice and slow, nice and smooth. It's okay if they're not quite circles and they're more hip octagons. It's all good. Wherever you are at in your movement, it's totally okay. I think that's 6. 7, we're almost there, doing well. It's 8, 9, one more, and 10, and then we're going to go back the other way. So we want to reverse that. Same thing, we stick our hips right out forward, around to the left, poking our butts out at the back, coming around to the front, that's way. Nice and slow. Now you might find that the sides feel different or move a little bit differently. One side might be smoother than the other. It's totally okay. I think it's about 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to bring our feet closer together now, so you can either go right together or just a little bit apart, whatever's going to feel comfortable for you. Again, we give our hands the very important job of gently resting on our knees here. So gentle, we're not leaning our body weight down here. They're just, palms are going to touch the tops of our knees and they're just going to stay there. We're going to dip our knees forward. We're going to do a little circle around to the left, straighten up, come back around to the right. Just like that. Little circles here. Our knees aren't designed to do big sideways movements. If they do, it tends to not end well. So we want to keep nice, small movements here. That's 4, it's 5, we're going for 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to swap sides and go back the other way. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, light hands here. 8, 9, and 10. Well done. And we're going to finish off with ankle circles. So if you need to have your hand on something for a bit of balance, because we are going to have one foot off the floor, feel good about that. Find something that you can use that helps you stabilize enough so we can lift our foot up and do some nice little circles. So yes, once you find that little balancing aid if you need it, let's go. We're going to go 10 circles inwards and then outwards. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then, as with everything, we swap sides. I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the opposite side. So changing feet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you find one foot's a little bit easier balance on the other, don't worry too much about that. It's really quite common. Got to do with our handedness or side dominance. So if one side's a little bit unstable, you can always work on that by just practicing balancing on one foot, balancing on the other foot. Really cool thing. But moving on, I digress. We are going to take it down to the floor now, continue this warm up. So I will meet you down there. Here we are, friends, on the floor. We're going to finish off our warm-up with some neat little mobility movements that I really find are just great to do. And they're some of my favorites that I do pretty much every time I get a bit active. And so we're going to start with a movement called Cobra Pose. Now you have two options here. Bringing it down so that your elbows come to the floor and your chest lifts up off the floor like this. Coming back down, just really nice small movement. If you've not done these before, it's a great place to start just with doing baby cobras, because this can be a little bit intense on your lower back if you're not used to it. But if you have done these a bit and you're feeling a bit more adventurous, feel welcome to straighten your arms right up, get a nice big bend through your back here. So we're going to work on 10 of these, either baby cobras or straight arms for our full cobras. Now let's go. Nice and slow here. We always do slow movements when we're getting our spine to move into big bendy positions. 3, 4, that's it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Amazing. Well done, friends. Coming up onto our hands and knees now. Bringing our hands to under our shoulders. Our knees under our hips, or as close as it feels like for you. I know when you can't see yourself, it can be a bit tricky to tell where exactly those positions are, but just in a hands and knees position, that feels nice and stable. This is where we're at. We're going to put the tops of our feet onto the floor. We're going to sit back down onto our heels. Then we're going to rock ourselves forward, just gently bringing our torso up over our hands. Sitting back, rocking forward. That's it. That's 5. We're going to go for 10. 6, 7. It's 8, 9, 10. Well done. Sitting back in this position now on our heels, you can bring your hands a little bit closer. We're going to look over our left shoulder. We're going to look over our right shoulder. That's it, just nice and slowly. One more each side. Nicely done. Finishing off, coming back up onto our hands and knees. We're going to arch our back up, pulling our belly button up towards the roof. We're going to push our belly button down towards the floor, looking up. And just gently alternating, rounding our back, And then pushing our belly button down towards the floor. Nice. There we are, all warmed up. We are about to jump into our first round. We will be down on the floor for it, so if you want to have a sip of water, have yourself a little breather, jump back in. Here we go. Here we are, friends. Our first round, we have 1, 2, 3 exercises that we are going to work through for 3 times through. Ooh, funness. We're going to start with a side plank. Now you have 2 options here. We're going to work through these as I explain them. So you're going to come down onto your side. Now you can either keep your legs out straight, or you can bend your knees here. So feel good about working within your limits. I always like to keep this hand here, just as I'm getting myself adjusted for a bit of support, because it can be hard to balance on our sides. We're going to raise our hips up off the floor and then bring them back down. We're going to do a pulse. So either from the knees, from the feet, we're going to go for 6. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to flip it over and swap sides. You don't have to turn around like I did, I'm just doing that, so you don't have to stare at my butt while I do these. I'm on this side. Here we are, from the knees, from the feet, whatever feels good for you, using that front hand for support. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well done. Moving on, what do we got next, Blackboard? Superhuman pulses. Ooh, these ones are great. We're going to be down on our stomach, so make your way down onto your stomach. Tops of your feet are going to be flat on the floor. Hands are going to come to rest just under your chin here. And we're going to gently raise our chest up off the floor. Put it back down. That's all we're doing. Raise your chest up as high as you can. Back down, and we're going to go for 6. So 3, 4, 5, and 6. Glorious, and we're finishing off with a Bodysaw. Yes, now 2 options here. We can do a plank from your elbows is your first option if you're not wanting to kind of intensify this, either from your knees, from your toes, just a nice low plank. But if you want to try something a little bit more challenging, on your elbows in this low plank position, but you're gently going to shift your weight back and forth. So there are 2 options. If you're just holding a plank, you're going to go for as long as it takes me to do 6 body saws. So probably maybe about 10 seconds. We're all about roundabout numbers here. It doesn't matter how long we do it for. Alrighty, let's go. Finding that low plank position, coming forward. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Knees come down. That's it. They are our 3 exercises. So we're back to the top, which means we're back to our side plank pulses. Coming over onto that starting side. It's always good to start from the same side. It just helps to keep everything in order. We're coming from legs straight or knees bent, whatever works for you. Getting the elbow under the shoulder. And we're going to go for 6. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Flipping it over. That's way setting ourselves up. We've got a 6 on this side. Remember, you can go from your knees. Totally okay. You don't even have to do 6. Do as many as what feels good for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Nice. Coming over onto our stomachs now, we have our superhuman pulses. Flat on the floor with the tops of our feet. Hands crossed under our chin. Let's go for 6. 1. Nice and slow movements here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hooray, finishing with either our low plank or our body saw. Our elbows come to under our shoulders, setting ourselves up, curling our toes towards our torso. Coming up onto our elbows if we're going to do a low plank from our toes or our body saw. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Nice. We have just one more time to get through. Yes. Side plank pulses. Here we come. Last time that we're doing these together today. Straight legs, bent knees. You know what works for you, friends. You've done it a couple times now. Let's go. Working through as many as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flipping it over. 6 the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Coming down, over onto our stomachs for our superhuman pulses. Laying down flat. This is a trap if you think you need to stay here and rest because it just tricks you. So we need to get started. Alrighty, here we go for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Finishing off with our body saw or our low plank, whatever you feel good with doing. Toes come under if we're coming up onto our toes, otherwise we're on our knees. Up onto our elbows. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well done, friends. That is our first round down. Have a drink, have a breather, meet me back down. We are on the floor again. Back in just a moment. Here we are, friends, back for our second round. We have 1, 2, 3 more exercises to get through. As with the first round, I'm going to demonstrate them to you and you're going to work through them with me as we go through this first round. So we are starting on our backs. I'm going to face this way. Starting on our backs, we're going to do a hip bridge. So feet are flat on the floor, our knees are bent. Your feet can be together or apart. Doesn't really matter, whatever works for you. Bonsai, go with that. We're going to go here up to 30 seconds, but feeling free to drop down at any point that feels good for you. All we're going to do, press down with our heels, lift our butt up off the floor, and we're just going to hold here for about 30 seconds. That's it. And we're going to breathe. Remember, if you need to come down at any point, let yourself come down. It's totally okay. There is nothing here to say you have to hold this for the whole time, because you don't. You hold it for as long as what feels good for you. If it stops feeling good, stop holding. That's it. If you're still holding, you're doing really well. We are almost there. That's the way. Just breathing. Keeping those legs nice and strong. And relaxing. Well done. Coming up now, we're going to come over onto our hands and knees. Our hands under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. And we're going to move called a fire hydrant. So essentially we're going to take one leg, raising it outwards to the side. We're going to go for 6 here. So 2, bringing your leg up just as high as you feel good about. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Letting that weight shift just gently to your opposite side that you're lifting from. We're going to do our opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and finishing off with mountain climbers. So we're almost pretty much in the position we need. Hands under our shoulders. We're going to reach our legs back. Now feel free to stay on one knee if you don't want to get up on your toes, but work with where you're at. If we're on our toes, we're from here. If we're on our knee, we're just going to do it one knee at a time, and that is totally okay. Otherwise, we're doing it like this. We're going to go for 20. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. One round down, just 2 to go. Coming back onto our back for our hip raise bridgesicles. That's not a bridgesicle, that's not a word. Bridges. It's a word if you can use it in a sentence. Alrighty, knees are bent, feet are flat. Let's move on from that. Hands by the sides, lifting our hips up, and let's go. Holding up to 30 seconds, but remember dropping down any time that feels good for you. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just trying to slow that heart rate down. We can use this as active rest. We're almost there. That's it. And slowly bringing your hips down. Trying to keep as much control as you lower your hips down as you can, just because it's good to do. Coming onto our hands and knees, we have our fire hydrants. So hands under our shoulders, hips under our knees. Bringing that leg out to the side as high as you can. We're going to go for 6 each side. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're swapping sides. 1, 2. Now we're not swinging here, we're definitely raising our leg up with control. 4, 5, one more, and 6. That's it. Finishing off with our mountain climbers. Nice and slow, we're not having to do them speedy, but if you want to speed them up, speed them up. Work at your own pace here, friends. Doing what you feel good about doing. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's halfway. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Nicely done. Just one more time to get through. Cruising along here. It's a nice, slow, steady pace. It's the best way to do our movements. Slow and steady. Always with control. And let's go. Hips are up for up to 30 seconds. But remember, anytime you feel you need to bring your hips down, totally go with that, friends. It's all okay. Everything we're doing here is a suggestion. So work with what feels good for you and with where your body is at, because you know it best. Almost there. Hips come down. Nice work. Back over to our fire hydrants. That's the way. Hands under our shoulders, hips under our knees. Knees under our hips. Let's just go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And swapping sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And finishing off with our mountain climbers. Here we go, stepping our feet back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good work, pals. We have one more round to get to. Still on the floor. So have a sip of water, have a breather, and we're going to finish this off. Here we are, friends. Round number 3. This is where it's all finishing because it's our last round. Yes, alrighty. We're going to start on our backs as with the last 2 rounds. We're going to work through the first round, working together as I demonstrate. We're going to start with our frog kicks. Now these are maybe a little bit different for you. We're going to start on our backs. You can take your hands and do magical diamond fingers to support under your lower back if you find that that helps here, because sometimes having our legs stretched out can put a bit of pressure on our lower backs. So we're going to tuck our knees up, circle around and back down, just like we're doing breaststroke. This is frog kicks, this is our frog swim. I'm going to go for 6 here. If you're not feeling good about the circle out and around, you can just tuck up and straight back out. That is totally okay. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. That's it, legs come down. We're going to come to sitting here. I have a new and fun little move for you. Well, that first one was too, actually. Anyway, moving forward, we're going to take one leg and we're going to bend it. We'll take one leg, we're going to have it straight. We're going to plop our hands on the floor for a bit of support here. Lean forward just a little bit, and we're going to keep our leg straight, point our toe, lift our leg up as high as we can, sit it back down. We're going to go for 6. Lifting it up, sit it back down, just like that. That's 3, 4, 5, 1 more, 6. Nice, and we're going to swap sides. Do exactly the same thing. Having your hands down for support if you need. Point those toes can help as well. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Faces are optional. And we're going to finish off. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. We're going to step onto our feet, bring our hands back, lay flat on our back. We're going to sit up. We're going to put our feet underneath us, hands down, come onto our hands and knees, lay down on our stomach. Come back up onto our hands and knees. Bring our feet under. Bring our hands back. Sit down. Lay on our back. Sitting up, just however you can here. Coming over onto our hands and knees. Laying down. Just like that. Get back ups from kneeling. And we're back at the top. So we are onto our second time through. So we're starting with our frog kicks on our backs here. Diamond hands if we need, supporting our lower backs. And remembering, if you need to just do a straight leg tuck up, that is totally okay. Even if you just do it one at a time, also very okay. If you feel more adventurous, I'm going to go 6 frog kicks. Let's go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Legs come down. Back to our sitting leg raises. Bringing that one foot in as close as we can. Now you don't have to do 6 of these. You can just do 1 or 2. These are a bit tricky. So work with where you're at. They're just a little bit fun, something a bit different. Gets your body working in a completely different way. Alrighty, we're pointing our toes. We're bracing ourselves. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Nice. Swapping sides. Hands are on the floor, pointing our toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well done, friends. We have one more exercise to get through, and that is our get back up from our hands and knees. So starting on our hands and knees, stepping through, stepping back, laying down, sitting up, coming back to our hands and knees, laying flat on our stomachs. That's 1. Hands and knees, feet come under, hands come back, laying back, sitting up, bringing back onto our hands and knees, laying down onto our stomachs. Amazing. We have just one more time to get through with our frog kicks as our starting movement at the top of our list. Diamond hands, hands under your lower back for support if that feels good for you. Maybe you can do one leg or two legs straight tuck ups here, whatever works. Now let's go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sitting up for our straight leg raises. Sitting straight leg raises. But if you feel you need to bend your knee a little, go with that as well. Doesn't really matter. Straight as you can get your leg is totally fine. And let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Swapping sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes, finishing off on our hands and knees. Feet step under, hands step back. Coming down, flat on our back. Sitting up, however feels good for you. Coming over to our hands and knees. Down flat on your stomach. Hands and knees. Feet come under, hands come back. Laying down. Sitting up. Hands and knees. Laying down flat. That is it, friends. We are done. Thanks for moving with me. I appreciate it. I hope you had fun. Hope you maybe learned some new stuff that you haven't done before, tried some things out, challenged yourself just a little bit, and most of all, just feel like you've done something that's a little bit good for you, maybe relieved a little bit of stress, gotten a little bit of energy out, because you've done really well. And I hope to have you join me again next class. See you later.